Okay, now we're going to take a look at the song One. There's two parts to this intro. There's a clean picking part and there's also a clean solo. First off, we're going to look at the clean picking part. I'm just going to play that for you and then we'll break it down. So here we go. Okay, all we're doing here is we're just playing two notes at a time. The first note is on the second fret on the A string and the second note is on the fourth fret on the D string. And we're just going to have, so play one after the other, second fret, fourth fret. Then we're going to play the open D after that, after playing the second fret on the A. So we're going to have, and this is going to be the pattern for pretty much all the other shapes that follow. The next root note we're going to play is the third fret on the low E string, and then we're going to do the same again on the D string, so we're going to have this. Okay, so far we've got this. Now we're back to the first position again. Second position. Then on this second position, we're actually going to add an open G string as well. So we're going to have, okay, so far we should have this. Now we're back to the first position again. Now we've got a new position, but we're doing nothing different apart from just playing the open A string, then we're playing the D string as normal. Back to the second position we looked at. And then to finish, we're going to have this. Okay, so that's just the open E, second fret on the A, then we're going to bar the second fret across the E and the A, and play the second fret. So E string and then A string to follow. So we've got. Okay, now while that's cycling round, there's a clean guitar solo that goes over the top of that. So let me just play the first part for you and then we'll break that down. Okay, so we're starting this on the fourth fret on the D string, second fret on the G. Then we're bending the fourth fret on the G a whole step and a half, but it's probably going to be easier to pull it down towards the floor, but if you want to push it up, you can. So we've got. So after we've done the bend, we're just going to let that note back down. And then we've got this. So that's 3 to 2 on the B, 4 on the G, then 3, 2 again on the B, and then 2 on the G. So we've got, then we're going to play the third fret on the B twice, then the second fret, then 4 on the G. Okay, so that part of the solo again. Okay, now for the next part. Okay, we're going to start this on the 11th fret on the G string, and we're going to play 11, pull off to 9, slide to 7. Then we're going to have 9, pull off to 7, slide to 6. So we've got. Then we're going to have 7, pull off to 6, slide to 4. So. Then 6, pull off to 4. Slide to 2, then play 2 and slide up to 4. So at slow tempo it should look like this. Then we're going to slide from 2 to 4 on the G, 2, hammer onto 3, pull off to 2 on the B. Then we've got 2 on the G, 2 on the B, 3, pull off to 2 on the B, and then play 2 on the G twice, and then on the second time we're going to slide to 4. So that last bit slow should sound like this. Okay, moving on with the first clean guitar solo, here's the next part. Okay, for this part, we're going to have a little bit of sweep picking with the right hand. We're just going to bar the 16th fret across the D and the G, and then we're going to play 15 on the B, and then 14 on the high E. So we're going to have, the last note we're going to play is 19 on the high E, and then we're going to have a gap. So it's going to be, that 19th fret will be probably with an upstroke, so you'll do. Then you're going to have 17, pull off to 15, pull off to 14, hammer on 15 on the high E, then we've got 15 on the B. So we're going to have okay, the next part. Okay, for this part we're going to have 7, pull off to 6, back to 7 on the G. Then 9, pull off to 7, hammer on to 9. 11, pull off to 9, hammer on to 11. Then play 12 on the G twice, and then resolve to 11. So. Okay, now for the last part of the clean guitar solo. Okay, to start this off, we're going to be on the 9th fret on the D, and we're going to have 9, 7 on the G, 11 on the G. Then we're going to have 8 and 10 on the B. Do the same thing again, but then we're just going to have 8 and 12 on the B. So. Then we're going to use the first half of that shape again and play 9 on the D, 7 on the G, 11 on the G, skip over the B string and play 7 on the high E, and then we'll go from there. So. Okay, then when we get to that point, we're going to play 9, then 10, slide to 12, all on the high E. Pull off to 10, slide down to 9, slide down to 7, then we're going to play 9 twice. Then the last two notes will be 10 to 7. So that whole last part slow should sound like this. Okay, for this next section, we're going to be looking at what we're going to be playing during the main clean picked verses, but it's kind of almost like a prelude to that. So we're going to play like the first part, and then there's another bit that we'll get into after that, but here's the bit we're going to be looking at. Okay, so we're pretty much holding the same shapes as we did in the beginning of the song, but the picking's slightly different. So here's the first example. So we're starting on the 2nd fret on the A, and then we're using the 4th fret on the D, and we've got... Then we're going to play the open D twice, play the 4th fret on the D once, and then the open D once. So we've got... So that's the picking pattern for that particular shape. When it changes to the 3rd fret and the low E, it's that sort of thing, but it slightly changes and it sounds like this. So it basically reverses the double picking from the open D to the fretted note on the D. So we've got then, so that's the 3rd fret on the low E, 4th fret on the D, open D, then pick the 4th fret on the D twice, then play the open D. So when you play them back to back, you should be able to hear the differences between the two. Okay, the second time we move to the 3rd fret on the low E position, we're then going to put in like an A note as well, which is going to look like this. So we're going to have 3rd fret on the low E, 4th fret on the D, open D. Then we're going to have the open A on its own. So far we should have this. Then we do the first position again. Then we do the other picking style, but we're going to be doing it from the open A this time, so we should have this. Right, so if you notice in that position, we're doing the same picking as the second style picking, which is the double pick on the fretted note. But instead of going back to the open D, we're having the open G in there instead. So up to that point, it should sound like this. Then we're going to go back to the first style of picking, which is, so it's the double pick on the open string. And then we've got, which is open E, a hammer on from 2 to 4 on the D, back to 2. So then we've got 2 on the low E and then 4 on the A. So all that section is literally what we're going to be playing during each verse that involves clean picking. Now this next bit features also in the song but in a different place, but as we go through it, it's going to be the same throughout the song, so here it is. Okay, first off we're going to start by holding the 3rd fret on the low E and the 5th fret on the A, so it's basically a G. And we're going to pick from the low E to the D string, and then back to the A string. So we've got the open D as well, so we've got 3, 5, open, 5. Then we're going to move that shape up 2 frets. So we just got 5 on the low E, 7 on the A string, so that's moving up to an A power chord. Okay, from now on, this is the main picking part that features after each heavy part in the verse. So we've got, so we're just picking the 5th fret on the A, 7th fret on the D, then we've got an open G. Then we'll fret the 7th fret on the G after that, so we've got, then we're going to play the 7th fret that's fretted on the D, and then we're going to play the open G, so we've got, so, then we're going to play the 3rd fret on the B string, then we're going to have open B, hammer onto the 3rd fret on the B, and then pull off to open B, so 4 on a G after that, so then we're going to have open B, Then open B again, hammer onto the 3rd fret on the B, pull off to the open B, then play the open G. So we've got then we're going to have this shape which starts on the 3rd fret on the D, then we've got an open G, and then we're barring the 1st fret across the B and the high E, and we're just going to pick up and down. So starting from the D string up to the high E and then back down again. So we're going to come back down as far as the open G string. Then this last shape would be 2nd fret on the D, 4th fret on the G, then open G, then open B and open high E. So that whole section at a slow tempo should look like this. Okay, so on the last bit, we're going to go back to that last shape, but we're just going to go as far as the open B, then the last note will be a C, and then that leads into the verse section, which now the vocals kick in, and we're going to repeat what we did before. Okay, so this first vocal verse section is the same as what we looked at before, but it's got a different turnaround on the end and it's repeated twice. So instead of doing into the, it just ends the same way as the clean picking part that we looked at in the first part of the song. So it just does, so it's open E, 2nd fret on the A, and then bar across the E and the A and play the 2nd fret. So let me just play that verse section so you can see how that should sound. Then you repeat that whole section again, and then we're basically into the heavy part that follows each verse. So let me just play that for you, and then we'll break that down. Okay, so now we've got a heavy distorted sound, and we're going to start this section on a G power chord. Then we're going to play A, B, A, then back down to G. And we're just going to be using downstrokes for each power chord change. So we've got. Then we're going to play an F sharp, which is just a fret down from G. Then moving to the A string, we're going to play B, then A. Then we're going to have B, C sharp, A, C, C sharp, and then D to finish. So. Okay, as we're holding the heavy D chord, we've then got this picking section. Okay, so after that section, we've got another verse, another heavy bit that follows the verse, which is actually the chorus for the song. And then we've got another picking bit again, which was what I've just played. That repeats round once, and then we've got another clean guitar solo. So let me just play the first part for you, and then we'll break that down. Okay, starting this off on the 10th fret on the B, we've got 10, 8, 7, 8, back to 10. Then we're going to pick 10 again and go 10, 8, 7. Then 9 on the G, 7, hammer onto 8, pull off to 7 on the B, and then finish on the 7th fret on the G. Then we're going to slide from 8 to 10 on the high E string, 8, 7 after that, so 10 on the B, 7, 8 on the high E, and then finish on the 8th fret on the B. So, okay, moving on to the next part. Okay, so we've got 17 to 14 on the high E, 15 on the B, then back up. Then we've got 17, 15, 14, 17 on the B, 14, hammer onto 15, pull off to 14 on the high E, and then 15 on the B. So, then we've got 19, 17, 15 on the high E, and repeat that 3 times. So, then we've got 19 on the B, 15 on the high E, 17 on the B, 19, and then finish on 15 on the B. Okay, now for the last part of the second clean guitar solo. Okay, we're just going to be using mainly downstrokes to the right hand for this, and we've got 7 on the G, 8 on the B, and we're going to play that 4 times, and then to resolve we're just going to take our second finger off the 8th fret of the B and then continue with the bar across the G and the B. So we've got... Then we're going to do the same thing up on the 12th fret on the G, 13th fret on the B. So... Then we're going to tap fret 20 on the high E, pull off to 17, pull off to 13. And we're going to do that 6 times. Then we're going to have a hammer on from 12 to 13 and then pull off to 12. And do that 3 times. So that last part, slow, should sound like this. Okay, after the second clean guitar solo, we're back into another heavy chorus section, but it's slightly different, so let me just play it for you and then we'll break it down. Okay, so we're still starting on the G power chord. So that much is the same. And then we've got, and instead of going to C, C sharp and D, we're just going to go B, C sharp. So we've got, then we just repeat that again. Then we've got this. So we're going to start on the G, play the open E, G, open E, G again, then F sharp, so just a fret down, and then we're going to end on the B. So we've got, okay, now for the next part that follows that. Okay, for this section we're just going to be playing octaves with the left hand, and we're just going to be playing the A string and the G string, missing out the D string entirely. The first position is 7th fret on the A, 9th fret on the G, and we're just going to play those two notes. Then we're going to play 2 frets down, 5th fret on the A, 7th fret on the G, slide up to where we started, so we've got. Then we're going to slide up from the first position up to the 10th fret on the A, 12th fret on the G, and play that 3 times. Then we're going to play 6th fret on the A, 8th fret on the G, then play it another 2 times, and then move up to the first position that we played, and use the same picking. So we're going to strike it and then do 2 quick downstrokes after that. So at a slow tempo, that whole section should look like this. And you just repeat that 4 times round. Okay, now for the next part. Okay, the first position we're holding is 7th fret on the A, 5th fret on the D, and we're just going to play the A and D string together. The second time we play the chord, we're just going to add the 7th fret on the D, so basically we've got 7 on the A, 7 on the D, so we've got. Then we're going to take a little finger off and play the original position we had. So we've got. Then we're going to move down and we're going to play the 5th fret on the A, 4th fret on the D, and we're going to palm mute this and play 3 downstrokes. Then we're going to add the 5th fret on the D for 1, and then back to 5 on the A, 4 on the D for 1. So we've got. Then a B chord. We're going to have F sharp on the low E, so then play the B, then the F sharp power chord. So we've got. Then C, then the 3rd fret on the low E, then back to C. So that's the first time around that riff. So at slow tempo it should look like this. Then we repeat the first part again. When we get to the C, we're going to do this. So we're going to play the power chord, then we're going to have like a triplet, so we're going to have a down, up, down on the 3rd fret on the A. Then on the last downstroke, we're going to accent the chord again, so 3rd fret on the low E, and then back to the C. So that whole section at slow tempo should look like this. Then to finish off, we're just going to have the position that we started with, possibly with the exception of using the open G with that as well. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the middle section, which leads to the guitar solo. I'm just going to break this down into small chunks so you can kind of figure out how it all fits together. So here's the first part. Okay, for the first part, basically we're going to be using alternate picking with the right hand with palm muting. Most of the picking, well in fact all of the picking is going to take place on the low E string, but we're going to keep our left hand in an E power chord position because there's going to be some accents where we're going to need more than just the low E string, like that, just to play more of a power chord sound. Okay, so first off we're going to play the open E string palm muted with alternate picking 6 times, then we're just going to play the chord on the end, which is just going to be the open E and the 2nd fret on the A, so it should look like this. Okay, so that's the idea, and we're basically going to repeat that 4 times before any changes take place. So slowly, this is what it should look like. Okay, so we just repeated that 4 times. We're going to be keeping that basic framework for the rest of what we're doing, but we're just going to be changing a few things slightly. So we're going to play what we just played again, but we're going to let the chord ring out at the end. Then we're going to play it again as we did before. Then we're going to play it a 3rd time, let the chord ring out again. Then on the 4th time round, it's going to set the stage for the next 4 times round, which is just going to look like this. So we'll be playing it as if we're holding the last chord, but then we'll sneak an F power chord in there as well. So we've got... Okay, so far at a slow tempo, this is what we've got. Okay, now the next 4 times round, we're just going to be repeating what we did the last time round on the riff that I just played. So we're going to have this. Okay, so again, you've got the open E string 6 times with the held chord at the end. And then the next time round, we're just going to add the F chord in there on the held E chord. And then repeat that 4 times. So just once more, just in case you didn't get it the first time. Okay, remember to keep that right hand really tight with the alternate picking and the palm muting. Okay, so now we're basically going back to how we started, and this is where the vocals kick in. So this is how the next bit goes. Okay, so basically we're back to the same thing again, but on the last time round, we're going to sneak the F chord in as well. Then we're going to repeat that again. Okay, now following on from that, we've got a single note riff coming up where we're still going to be using that rhythm as a framework, but we're going to be adding some notes in as well. So let me just play it for you and then we'll break it down. Okay, so hopefully you can see what we're doing there. We're keeping the open E string the same, but instead of playing a chord on the end, we're just playing the E on the A string on the 7th fret. And instead of playing as chords, we're just doing it as single notes. So, okay, so the notes are 7th fret on the A, and then 7 to 8 on the A. Then the second time round, the held note is going to be the 5th fret on the A. Then the 2 notes that follow will be 5 and then 8. And then you just repeat. So at slow tempo, this is what it should look like. Okay, now after that, we're back into the section previous to that, which goes like this. Okay, now this last section just before the solo is where the pace of the band really picks up, and some of the rhythm playing gets a little bit more difficult than what we've been looking at, but still keeping that basic framework that we've been using. So let me just play through this next bit for you and then we'll break it down. Okay, so the rhythm we're going to be using for this is going to be open E 6 times, then we're going to play the chord on the last time round, so that makes up the 7. Then we're going to repeat that. Then we're going to play the open E 3 times, then we're going to put the F chord on the end. Okay, this is all going to be happening at a fairly speedy pace, and one thing to kind of look out for is the F chord might land on an upstroke. So if you're finding that it does, then you're using the right amount of alternate picking to play this riff. So at a slow tempo, this is what it should sound like. Okay, so that whole riff cycle goes round 4 times, and then what happens is the guitar emulates what happens on the snare drum, and it looks like this. Okay, so what we're doing is we're playing a series of 2 sets of 7 notes and then a set of 4, and we're just going to have like gaps in between. So we're going to have the first 7, gap, second lot 7, and then a set of 4. So that's the first time round. Then the second time round, you've got 2 sets of 7. Then you just keep alternate picking back into the riff section that we just looked at. So at a slow tempo, the whole thing so far, this is what it should look like. Okay, and then you're back into the riff cycle, and then you just repeat the whole thing again. So if I just play that back to back at a slow tempo, hopefully you can kind of play along and get to grips with how it goes. So here we go. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the main guitar solo. I'm just going to play through the first part for you and then we'll break it down. So here it is. Okay, we're going to start off by tapping the 19th fret on the high E, and then we're going to pull off from 15 to 12. So we're going to have... Okay, so we're going to tap that first position 6 times, so you can count that by how many times your right hand goes onto the fretboard. So we've got... Then you're going to move your right hand up to fret 20, and then you're going to do the same thing again, keeping your left hand in the same position and play for the same amount of times. So you got... Then do exactly the same thing on the B string. Move everything 2 frets down, so now we're going to be tapping 17 on the B, pull off to 13, pull off to 10. Then move your tapping hand up to 18 on the B string and play for the same amount again. Okay, so far at slow tempo, this is what we should have. Okay, then purely tapping the 17th fret on the B, we're then just going to move our left hand like this. So tapping between each of the left hand notes, we've got 17, then we're pulling off to 12, then 10, then 8, then 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 5, then 7, 5, 3. So tagged onto the other tapping section at a slow tempo, we should have this. Okay, now for the next part of the guitar solo. Okay, for this next part of the solo, we're just going to be using tremolo picking. So we're just going to be picking as fast as we can, basically, with our right hand, starting on the B string on the 12th fret. I think it works out to be something like 8 times. Then we're going to be using the same technique, and we're going to have 14, 15 on the high E. So we're going to have then up to 17 on the high E, 15 on the B, back to 17 on the high E, and then 22 on the high E, and bend that up. So okay, now for the next part of the solo. Okay, this first part of the lick, we've got 15 to 17 on the B, then 15 to 17 on the high E, then pull off from 17 to 15 on the high E, then back through 17 to 15 on the B. So we've got... So if we just take as one, we're going to repeat that lick 5 times. So we've got... And then we're going to go back up and just extend that position. And instead of playing 17 on the high E, we're going to have 19. So we've got... And we're going to play that 3 times. So we've got... So the last bit, we've just got this pull off that goes from 19, 17 to 15. And we just do that 4 times. So far at a slow tempo, we should have this. Okay, then after that, we've got a series of bends on the 18th fret on the B while holding the 15th fret on the high E. And we've got... So we're going to do that 4 times. So we're just bending up on the 18 and then playing 15. Then halfway through that, we're going to bend up the 18 on the high E slightly, back to 15 on the high E, and then finish the lick. And we're doing that bend 3 times, I think. So when you tag it on with the other part, it should sound like this. Okay, now for the next part. Okay, so we're going to start this on 19 on the high E, and then we're going to pull off to 17, slide down to 15, and then hammer on 17. Then we're going to pull off from 17 to 15 on the high E, 19 on the B, and then 15 on the high E. So we've got... Then 19, pull off to 17 on the B, slide down to 15, hammer on 17. So far we've got this. Then we're going to re-pick 17 on the B, pull off to 15, slide to 13. Then 15, pull off to 13, slide to 12. Then we're going to have 13, pull off to 12 on the B, hammer on 14 on the G, and then 12 on the B. So far we've got this. Okay, and when we get to the 12th fret on the B, we're going to have this lick. So that's 12 on the B, 14 pull off to 12 on the G, then 14 pull off to G again, hammer on 14 on the D, 12 on the G, and then 14 pull off to 12 on the D. So we've got... Then as we gradually bend 14 on the G, we're just going to keep picking it and then end on the 12th fret. Okay, so far we've got this. Then to finish off, we've got this. So we're going to slide from 12 to 14 on the D, play 12 on the G, 14 on the D, 12 on the G again. Then we're going to have 14, 13, 12 on the D, same on the A string, and then finish on 15 on the low E. So okay, now for the last part of the guitar solo. Okay, this last bit's relatively simple. We're just going to be playing some downstrokes on the 15th fret on the low E. So 2 to be exact. Then we're going to be barring across the G and the B string on the 12th fret, and we're just going to alternate between the two. So we're just going to do that 4 times. Then we're going to bar across the 17th fret on the G and the B, and we're just going to bend it slightly and then let both notes back down. And then if you can, try and add some vibrato in there as well. So we've got... So if you can on those 2 notes, just try and get some vibrato in there as well. Then what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that first bit again, but we're going to do it half the length. But before we change, we're just going to go back to the 15th fret on the low E. So we've got... Then we're going to go back to the barred notes across the G and the B string on the 17th fret. Bend it slightly, let it down again, pull off to 15 on the G, and then play those notes again. So far we've got this. Then finally, we're just going to end with... So we've already seen that lick previously in the solo, it just gets repeated again. And once more, that's 18 on the B string bent up while holding 15 on the high E. Okay, now we're into the final rhythm section of the song, and we're coming out of the main guitar solo, and this is the next bit that follows. Okay, we're back into familiar territory as far as rhythm is concerned. We're back to the E chord, where we're just going to play that 7 times. Then we're going to go up to a D power chord, but we're going to be holding that shape, but we're pretty much just going to be playing the first note. And we're going to play that 6 times, so down, up, down, up, down, up. It should feel like that in the right hand. Then we're going to play, which is just 4th fret on the A, 3rd fret on the A, and then 2nd fret on the A. Each time we're playing it 3 times. So we've got... Okay, like that. And then we're back into the rhythm part that we saw just before the guitar solo. So we've got this. And then to end, we're just going to end it the same way as we started it. So at a slow tempo, this is what that section should look like. Okay, now we're into the final lead part of the song. I'm just going to play the main part and then we'll break it down. So here we go. Okay, so we're starting this on the 12th fret on the G, and we're going to play that 3 times. Then we've got 11 on the G, and then 12 on the D. So we've got... Then we're going to play 14 on the G 3 times, 12 on the G, and then 14 on the D. So we've got... Then we're going to finish it with, which is 16, 14, 12, 14. So we've got... Then we're just going to repeat that last lick. Then we've got 14, 12, 11, 12, 12, 11, 9, 11, and then 11, 9, 7, 9. And that's all on the G. Then we'll go back and we'll play the first part again. Then repeat that lick down to 14, 12, 11, 12. Then we're going to move up this time to 17, so we've got 17, 16, 14, 16. And then back to the first lick, so 16, 14, 12, 14. Then repeat the first lick again. Then on the last time round, we're going to do the same thing again. But then this time we're just going to continue down the G string all the way to the 2nd fret. So we've got... So that much we've already done. The next lick is 9, 7, 5, 7 on the G. Then we've got 7, 5, 4, 5 on the G. Then 5, 4, 2, 4. Then to finish, 4, 2, open G, and then 2. So that whole section at a slow tempo should sound like this. Okay, after that harmony section, we've just got one more rhythm part to end the song, and it goes like this. Okay, so again, coming out of the harmony guitar solo part, we're back into the rhythm section that we were looking at just before that section. So at a slower tempo, here's a reminder. Okay, and on the end of that, we're going to have this. Okay, so we're going to move up to a G power chord, and we're just going to palm mute the first two downstrokes and then open out the last one. So we've got like that, and we're going to repeat that 4 times. So we've got. So on the end of the other bit, at a slow tempo, should sound like this. Then we're back into the other rhythm part for 1. Then we're back into the G part again. Now we've got a slight variation which looks like this. Okay, so with this next bit we're going to start off with the open E string. We're going to play that 6 times. Then we're going to play 2 E chords with downstrokes. So we're going to have. Then we're going to move to F, and we're going to play. So the same technique as on the G, but we've got 2 palm muted downstrokes and then 1 open. Then we just repeat. So that as a whole section gets repeated 3 times. So as a slow tempo should sound like this. Then we're going to go back and play the open E 6 times. Then we're going to play the G. So we're going to do that 4 times like we did before. And then to finish off, we're going to go back to the original rhythm part, which is this. Going to do that once, and then we're just going to play 2 sets of 7 to finish. So. Okay, so at a slow tempo, that whole last section should go like this. Okay, now you have all the parts for 1.